played the prettiest game today. We did the things that you typically can't do. We had too many penalties and we had turnovers. But the more important thing is these guys never stopped believing in each other, never stopped believing in the program, and they found a way to win. And that's a very, very important ingredient to have, and we have that. Those other things, the turnovers and the penalties, we can clean those things up. You know, what I'm most proud of is when times got tough and they went down and scored, that receiver made a huge play for them, and the momentum swung. There was only a minute or so left in the game, and I looked across the sideline, and there wasn't doubt in anybody's eye. Everybody believed. They believed in Hack. They believed in Zettel. They believed in Ficken, who's going to be in here in a minute. And that's what I'm most proud of. And I'm proud that these fans can get back on the plane and fly back happy and enjoy themselves. And then, you know, we're going to get back to work again tomorrow, I guess, right? So, open it up to questions.
Can you take us through the last 10 seconds or so? It looked like you thought the ball was out of bounds and then you had to quickly burn a timeout. How did things kind of play out there?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into the you know, some of the things that went on during the game. But yeah, I thought the guy was out of bounds. If he did wind the clock, he wound it late. So we ended up having to burn the timeout. But the most important thing is, you know, Hack and the guys did a great job of managing the timeouts through the game and the coaching staff. So we had them. You know, so we had the timeout to burn. So you know, we're really, really pleased with that. But there's no doubt, you know, there was some issues kind of throughout the game, and that was one of them.
Were you going to run another play there, James? Or maybe
we were going to try to center the ball
and
then call a timeout. But when we lined up, when Hack lined up to center the ball, they started winding the clock. Yeah. So, you know, we just burned the timeout there and then lined it up and kicked it.
James, you celebrated with Ficken. You called him over specifically. Well, what did that mean, do you think, to Sam to be able to kick that?
Well, these guys will tell you better than me. I mean, that guy's had as consistent of a spring and summer as anybody on our team. He's been money. And, you know, I'm just happy for him because he's had an interesting career. He really has. It's probably the best way to describe it. But it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And he's a perfect example in this life, in this program. If you just stay positive, you persevere, and you keep working, good things will happen.
Coach, UCF had that veteran secondary. It seemed like you guys weren't afraid to challenge the deep ball. What about the kind of preparation when it's a secondary defense?
Well, I think number one, you guys know we got a special guy playing quarterback. You know, what the question was there going to be the players around him from an inexperienced standpoint to make plays? And they did. I mean, Geno Lewis made some unbelievable plays today, circus catches. I think Hamilton broke the freshman record. So just, you know, so many positives. Jesse made some plays early on that were really important. I thought overall our protection was pretty good, but I think Hack's mobility, like we talked about, I think he's a much better athlete than people realize or give him credit to, and he was able to extend plays and run for some first downs today. So I think it's really, really important, and I think obviously the defense stepped up at time and time again when we needed them.
Coach, you talked about how the momentum, you guys withstood the momentum shift. It seemed to shift when they brought in their second-team quarterback, Justin Holman, in the second half. Can you just talk about his play and what that did for their team?
Yeah, he's got mobility, which is helpful, just like Hack. You know, he threw a ball up down the middle of the field that I think we had pretty well covered, and just misplayed the ball. The receiver came down with it, and from there he got confidence, and they got confidence and got some momentum, and then it became a ball game. You know, it got exciting at that point. You know, so you know, we talked with the people from Croke Park, and they really wanted us to win it in the last 10 seconds or so for TV ratings and everything else. So that's what I talked to these guys about at halftime. So let's find a way to make it interesting and then win it with the last 10 seconds to go in the game.
James, what does winning a game in this manner, what can it do for a young team?
I think there's so many things. You know, you're on the road. You know, you're really on the road. You know, we were the away team. You know, we had penalties, we had turnovers, we weren't always perfect, but we found a way to win. And that ingredient is what people are searching for all the time. We try to instill it in practice. We try to instill it in meetings, you know, what it takes to win and what it takes to be successful, not just in football, but in life. We believe everything that we do on the football field has parallels to life. And these guys are winners. They really are. And I think those other things we can spend time on film and in meetings correcting. You know, but the only time we were stopped tonight was when we stopped ourselves. there's nothing that I'm disappointed about, because all the things that happened today are opportunities for growth and opportunities to learn. The thing that I wouldn't say surprised, but I was really pleased with, was the guys around Hack that stepped up and made plays for him. I thought our defense really played well early on, allowed our offense to kind of work through some kinks. But I wouldn't say there's anything I was overly surprised with. Probably the one thing was we didn't have headsets for the whole first quarter. We had no headsets. We had no form of communication whatsoever. That was, I wouldn't know if I would necessarily describe it as a surprise, but it was interesting.
How come you guys didn't have it in the first quarter?
I really wanted to say something right there, but I'm going to watch myself. I don't know. They didn't work. And where I learned something today, where I understand the rules, when your headsets go out, they have to turn theirs off. But the officials informed me today that that rule changed. That rule changed. They didn't have to. So we didn't have headsets.
Christian, you went to Hamilton so much early, and it's his first game. You must have seen something in the workouts.
You know, I think DeShawn is one of those guys that's worked extremely hard, and he came in with me, obviously, so I knew the type of player he was, and just like Geno, just like our tight ends, when you give him an opportunity, he's going to go up and make the play and make the effort. So I think DeShawn's work ethic is the reason why I trusted him so much. He's a guy that shows up every day at practice and is consistent with what he does. So, you know, I'm confident with him against anything.
Were you thinking about that pre-game? Or this is this guy's chance, I know he can do the job, or is it just something that worked out that way?
No, I mean, I think DeShawn just came out and made plays. He got open. He did what he had to do. And just like a lot of the other guys, I mean, Geno made 2 or 3 ridiculous catches. I think the guys really stepped up there, understood what they had to do, and you know, they made plays.
What's your mindset, Christian, with a minute to go after they score? You're coming back out on the field, and you need to score.
Yeah, that's a testament. I think it goes back to our practice field. You know, we were a team that I would say struggled at 2 minute when we first put it in the spring, and then I feel like, you know, as camp went on, the team really started to buy into it, and you know, again, it's just like it was last year. We practiced it so much. These guys do a great job putting us in situations where we have to be perfect to succeed, and I think today guys went out and they wanted it. They made plays when they needed to make plays, and Fick finished.
What was the huddle like after they put the lead there, a minute left or whatever?
I mean, we were excited. You know, I think this team's been there before. This team's been down before, a lot of these guys. So I think, you know, even though we were young, you know, we understood what we could do. And, you know, again, Geno came out, made plays. I think Bill made a fantastic play to get out of bounds right there. So I think it's just one of those things where guys stepped up and it really just fell in line.
You scrambled? Did you see, you know, it's so quick, you just see.
Yeah, I knew it was 4th down, so I knew I had to, if I was going to go, I had to go, and I hit it, and, you know, just tried to get as much as I could.
Anthony, the bottom of the pile with Wilson, number 7, I believe you might have, well, just tell us what happened at the bottom of that pile.
Just, football. We just ripped it out. We both had a hold of it, and I had 2 hands on it, and my teammates helped me out. They were pulling me too, so that's basically.
Anthony, it's the type of game that can hold the defense together. So many times you guys are put in tough spots, bad field positions that you generally were holding during most of those. Is it kind of, you know, brings you guys together?
Yeah, as a team and as a defense, I feel like we're really close, like we're in tight. We're all good friends on and off the field, and it makes it basically when you get on the field.